Good day, Market Chameleons, and everyone joining us for the first time. Thanks for coming by and checking out the Market Chameleon live webinar series. Before we get started, let's take a look at the shared disclaimer. Please be aware that neither Market Chameleon, Dimitri, or myself are registered investment advisors or a broker-dealer. If you are searching for investment advice, please reach out to a licensed professional. This webinar, as all our webinars and shows, are for informational purposes only concerning Market Chameleon tools and products. With that, before we welcome Dimitri Pargavanik to the stage, one last look at the disclaimer, and let's welcome Dimitri to the stage, who's going to be talking about screening options with implied volatility versus historical volatility. How are you doing today, D?
Good. How are you all?
Good. Let me share your screen.
Good morning.
And there's the Market Chameleon landing page, and we're ready for liftoff, my friend.
Good morning, everyone. So what we'll do today is use a screener that allows us to compare implied volatility versus historical volatility to see how the two different metrics deviate. So first, let's go to the screener. So we'll go up top, and we'll go under options, and we'll go to. Actually, well, hold on a second. I think it is under screeners. Under screeners, we're going to go options by expiration. Okay. So here, what we have is a screener, and this analyzes the options by the specific expiration. So it breaks it down by its expirations with related data. So for example, if I do a search here and type in SPY, what you see is now we have all these SPYs and the analysis for the different available expirations that are available to trade in SPY. This here SPY has a lot of expirations. If you type in, like, say, Meta, now you have Meta's different expirations available. So I'm going to uncheck this. And for that expiration, we're going to look at the implied volatility for that expiration using the at-the-money implied vol. And we want to compare that volatility to a historical volatility, how the stock moved historically, to see, is the implied volatility higher or lower, and by how much. So we're going to switch our tab here, and we're going to go to historical vol. And here, let's just to make it easier, let's put in SPY. So here, what we have is, if you go from left to right, you see SPY. This was yesterday's expiration expired, but let's go to this one, March 18th, and we see that the at-the-money implied volatility is 17. Well, how do we now put that into perspective? We need to look at a relative value. Is 17 high? Is it low? And there are different ways we could, analyze that. And one way is to look at the historical volatility that SPY traded versus now the implied volatility, which is forward-looking implied vol based on option prices. So keep moving from left to right. What we have here is two different implied volatilities. We have, historical volatilities. One is using the 20-day. So it's using an open, high, low, close 20-day vol. So when we calculate the volatility of a stock, there are different ways to do that. This is using daily open, high, low, close prices. And over the last 20 days, based on that, SPY moved at a 16.5 volatility. So very close to where the implied volatility is now. We could also look at a longer term range, and this is using 1 year. So over the course of 1 year, what did SPY move at? So if we had in the last 20 days, if those are particularly low or particularly high, we could smooth that out and say, well, what about over the course of a year? And here we have over the course of a year, 15.5. So you could see here that we're very close to that as well. A little bit below. I'm sorry, the implied volatility is a little bit above the 1 year. And if we wanted to screen for those, we'd have to compare them. So these two columns here compare it. It says, well, what is the at the money implied vol, this one, relative to the open high low close 20-day. So at the money IV is 3.5% above the 20-day volatility. We could do the same thing for the 1 year. Here it's saying that the 1 year, based on the 1 year, the implied volatility of 17 is 9.7% above the 1 year volatility. Okay, so now we have these metrics. And let's say we're trying to screen for a particular situation, maybe where the implied volatility is below or above these metrics. So we could do that as well. So I'm going to now uncheck the SPY to bring us back to, all the symbols. And before we start screening, there are going to be lots of, symbols with expirations that have zero trading volume. So we might want to screen those out because those markets could be wide. There's no trading interest. Let's look at something that there's a trading interest where, there's volume, there's, transactions that could present an opportunity. So first we're going to go up here and we're going to find our filters above, and we're looking for the options volume. So let me see where that is. Here, options volume. I'm going to click on that. And let's look for options expirations that had at least 1,000 contracts traded. So this is for the specific expiration over 1,000. Okay. So you could see that something like SPY, has a lot of expirations that traded over 1,000 contracts. So let me uncheck that. And, now we have 3,416. We could even, let's narrow it down more, let's say over 5,000. So that brings us down to 1,182. All right, let's leave it at the 5,000. So now we could screen by these two metrics to see, is the implied volatility is particularly higher or lower than the historical vol. And we could use these two metrics here. So let's say we were looking for something that implied volatility got crushed. It's below. So we could do this, we could go overvalued or undervalued. We divided it up this way, and let's say below 20%. So click on that. So now you see here where based on the 20-day volatility, the implied vol is below that. Here it's 41% below, 50% below, 26% below. We could sort these. Let's sort them by highest volume. Okay, so here in Tesla, let's do here, days to expiration has to be at least 2. Let's do 5 days or more. Okay, so we're going to take out like these expirations that expire the next day or two. So at least 5 days or more to expiration. Okay. So here, we have WBD, hood. So this little T is telling us that this is a target for a takeover. Okay, so we could skip that one, but here, this is Robinhood, March 20th, the implied volatility is 66, which you could see is 23% below the 20-day volatility. We could further and require that it's below the 1 year. So it could come over here and say, well, if we use the 1 year volatility, we want to see implied vol, let's say, more than 10% below that 1 year. Okay, so now we have, so hood is still on there, and some of these other ones, but now we're down to 13. So we went from thousands, 33,000 potential candidates down to 13. We could also go the opposite way and look for ones that are over. In addition to that, one more thing at the money IV change, we could also look at something that might be weak today, where the implied volatility has gone down today or gone up. Matters what story you're looking for. If you want to see more weakness on the day, you could say, well, it was at least down 3% on the day. Okay, so now it's below the historical vol and it's down more than 3% on the day. We could look for up, maybe above 0. Okay, so we have here a few that are up. The idea there is maybe that implied volatility is low but starting to tick up, or it has found a bit. Okay, let's uncheck that. We could go the other way, where now we require the implied volatility to be 20% above the historical vol. So you can see here at the money is above the 20-day vol. Could also require it to be above the 1 year vol. So now we got 68 entries where the implied volatility is trading at a significantly higher, at least by 20% higher, above its historical volatility range. So here it lets us quickly, and we could see how many, right? So there are 68 here. So if this list is really big, it would indicate that the market is indicating across the board lots of volatility. If the way around, it would indicate that the market's indicating volatility to come in across the board. And this is a quick way to use a screener to narrow down those types of scenarios where you could go and do further research on particular underlyings in particular expirations. Okay, well, I'm going to throw it back to you now.
Hey D, another great webinar. We had a bunch of new chatters on today, which is always nice. Buna says Market Chameleon is an excellent resource for stocks and options and financial education for all levels, from beginners to seasoned professionals. Cincy, who's a regular, says the multi-leg screener is paid for my annual membership multiple times, which is always nice to hear. We did have a question from Tim Feld, a new Chameleon. He said, if volatility is low, how would I take advantage, of it? And then he asked, should I look at straddles? That was his question.
I mean, that's more of a trade. There are a lot of factors in it, but it would be one. You'd have to be looking particularly for low volatility for a reason. Where some traders, that's what they do. They have strategies that require or look for volatility that's either low or beyond, has deviated from its historical vol. And the strategy you use, there's so many different ones, that it would depend on many different factors. Some people use time spreads, straddles, strangles. Some people just use the Black-Scholes model to trade gamma. There are different ways to do it, and it would depend on the trader and really other outlooks that you may have. But the idea there is that if you are looking for a particular strategy that requires a where volatility is low, and you have a certain strategy in mind that you could take advantage of that type of situation, that's one way to use a screener. Some people use it even in a dispersion model where you might have a portfolio where you need to buy volatility or gamma somewhere in case of a market move or violent move, and people disperse a strategy where they're selling implied volatilities in one place and buying implied volatilities in a different place. So there's a lot of different scenarios that you could employ using either situations where implied volatility is high or implied volatility is low.
Excellent, D. Thanks for bringing these to the Chameleon community. Tomorrow we are off. I will be sending a pre-recorded video out, and it will be live chat at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And then we'll be back with the live chat. Are we back? No, Monday we're out. So we'll be back next Tuesday with a live chat. So Monday we'll also, I'll be putting out a video and we'll be running the chat. So we'll see you back on Tuesday, D. Have a great weekend and a safe trading day today, my friend.
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe out there. Have a great trading day. And we'll see you next week.
Next Tuesday. All right, D. Have a great day. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. I think Stefan asked if this is being recorded. All our video live shows are recorded on live. Eventually, they get dropped into the pre-recorded and re-released. So it's either in the live or the pre-recorded. Just go to the YouTube channel. I suggest everyone actually subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then you'll be alerted at every live webinar. Everyone have a great, safe trading day. Thumbs up, always appreciated. And we will see you on the pre-recorded webinar tomorrow for the chat. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.